The dust tastes of fear and iron. For 3 sons, the clan of the Red Canyon has been trapped. Their temporary shelter in a shallow rock overhang nothing more than a cage. Outside, the pack of 7 Albertosaurus waits. They are not the colossal kings like the great Tyrannosaurus Rex of ancestral stories, but they are death incarnate, all the same, leaner, faster, and cruelly intelligent. The hunters pace on the scorched earth, their heavy heads low, yellow eyes watching every shadow within the cleft. The small fire, the clan's only shield, dwindles with their supply of scavenged wood. Una, the clan's lead scout, presses her back against the warm sunstone, her knuckles white around a spear. Its point is not stone, but the serrated tooth of a predator slain generations ago, a piece of their osteodontocratic technology that feels pitifully small now. The hungry calls of the pack echo, a percussion that vibrates through the rock and into their bones. This is the rhythm of the prehistoric world, the patient predator and the cornered prey. These early humans, a small band of Australopithecus far from their ancestral forests, are learning the terrible arithmetic of the plains. The elder, Kale, watches the youngest child, Galora, whimper in her mother's arms. He sees not just one child, but the clan's entire future held in that fragile grasp. A future measured in hours. Their survival skills are failing. The last of the dried meat is gone. The water skins are nearly empty. To remain is to starve. To run is to be torn apart. This is the hard choice. The razor's edge on which their entire hominid history balances. Kayle's gaze drifts past the circling predators, across the shimmering heat of the savanna, to a slow-moving river of grey and brown. I heard of Triceratops. They graze peacefully. Their massive bodies are fortresses of muscle and bone. Their heads a trinity of horns. They are a force of nature, a living landslide that no predator challenges head-on. A thought, sharp and terrifying, cuts through Kayla's despair. It is a thought born of madness, but it is the only one they have left. He turns to Una, his voice a dry rasp. The horned ones, he says, not needing to point. We cannot fight the sharp teeth, but the earth itself can. Una understands immediately. The sheer audacity of the idea steals her breath. To deliberately provoke a Triceratops is suicide, but to provoke it in the right direction, that is a strategy. A plan forms in the space between them, a silent language of grim nods and desperate glances. It requires a sacrifice, a lure. 4 of their fastest runners will break from the rocks, not away from the Albertosaurus, but straight past them, a mad dash towards the herd. They must be fleet enough to evade the initial snap of jaws and loud enough to draw the attention of the herd's matriarch. They must anger her, make her see them as a direct threat to a youngling, and then lead the resulting charge back towards this very cleft. The hunters become the bait. They are the small, clever fish who must learn to swim in the current of the great river beasts or be dashed against the stones. A young hunter named Jory C. Beliamer clenches his jaw and picks up his spear. He meets Una's eyes. He is one of the 4. There is no debate. The clan moves as one mind, driven by the single, overriding imperative that is the first law of anthropology. The group outlives the individual. The fire is kicked apart, its smoke momentarily blinding the predators, and 4 figures sprint from the rocks into the blinding sun. The world dissolves into a thunder of hooves and a storm of dust. Jory C and the 3 other runners don't look back. They sprint with the fire of primal terror in their lungs. The ground shuddering beneath them. They hear the enraged bellows of the Triceratops matriarch, a sound like a mountain splitting apart, and the high-pitched shrieks of the startled Albertosaurus pack. The hunters had expected a chase. They got an avalanche. From their cleft, the rest of the clan sees the horned river crest. The matriarch, a beast of 10 tons with brow horns as long as a man is tall, smashes through the center of the predator pack. One Albertosaurus is too slow. A horn punches through its ribs, lifting it from the ground and tossing it aside like a broken doll. The others scatter, their predatory arrogance shattered by a force of nature they could not intimidate. The stampede is not a weapon. It is a cataclysm. Jory and the others dive into a narrow crevice they had marked earlier, praying the stampeding behemoths pass them by. When the dust finally begins to settle, the plains are eerily quiet. The surviving sharp teeth are gone, licking their wounds in some distant shadow. The Triceratops herd has slowed, resuming their grazing a few hundred paces from the clan's rock. They are magnificent, their great bony frills like war banners, their powerful carrot and no US beaks staring at the tough psych heads. The clan emerges, blinking in the harsh light. Their hearts still hammering. They survived. But Kale and Duna are not looking at the empty plains where the predators once stood. They are staring at the herd. They did not just unleash a force. They witnessed the raw potential of paleoengineering. The Gambit's success was not an end, but a beginning. That night, around a new, brighter fire, Kale lays out the second, even madder, idea to guide the Horned Ones. To use them not for a single moment of chaos but as a constant, moving shield, to shepherd this river of flesh and bone across the open plains to the high plateau, a place they call the Stone Fist, a flat-topped mountain with sheer cliffs on three sides, a true fortress. This is a new stage in human evolution, a leap of abstract thought. The clan's ancient tools, their simple lithic choppers and flint knives, are useless for controlling such beasts. Their new tool must be intelligence. For days, Una does nothing but watch. She is the first student in a dangerous new field of live paleontology. She learns the herd's language of grunts and snorts, the subtle shifts in the matriarch's stance. She sees how they favor the succulent hearts of young tree ferns over all else. This becomes their lever. The great work begins. The clan becomes a servant to its unwitting protectors. They spend their days ranging ahead of the herd, a grueling task for these ancient humans. They use their stone axes to clear paths, felling the less desirable trees and creating channels that lead, degree by painful degree, toward the Stone Fist. Other teams gather the prized ferns, creating tempting patches of forage just far enough in the right direction to coax the herd forward. It is a slow, terrifying dance. One misstep, one sudden movement, could trigger a charge. Jory C, now leading the nudger race, learns to use the hollow echo of striking two stones together to turn the herd's flank, exploiting their pure eyesight and sensitivity to sharp sounds. They are not taming dinosaurs, they are weaving the currents of instinct, and as the Stone Fist grows larger on the horizon, they feel a terrifying, exhilarating sense of power, a feeling unknown to any of their human ancestors. The ascent to the Stone Fist is a brutal, final test of their newfound art. The path is narrow, a winding game trail snaking up the side of the plateau. Here, their control must be absolute. The clan works with a desperate, unified focus, a living example of primitive technology applied to the grandest scale imaginable. They lie in the outer edge of the path with piles of the herd's most hated plant bitter. Thorny vine whose scent alone causes the great beasts to shy away. On the inner side, they lay a trail of the sweet ferns, a fragrant invitation upwards. It is a corridor of scent and instinct, a testament to the foresight that separates these hominids from every other creature that walks the earth. The matriarch leads the way, her immense head, robust, swinging low as she follows the irresistible law. The earth trembles as 30 tons of living siege engine begin to climb. The final phase of Kale's vision is now within reach, building the fourth wall, a palisade of sharpened logs to seal the only entrance to their new home. But they cannot fell the giant cypress trees alone. They need the herd. Once on the plateau, the clan guides the Triceratops towards a stand of ancient trees at the edge of the entrance. The plan is simple, born of the same logic that saved them in the canyon, provoking direct. This time, the target is not a predator, but bird. Jory and his team, now masters of this strange choreography, dart him, hurling stones at the flanks of a large bull, enraging it while Luna and others create a cacophony from behind the target trees. The bull, confused and angry, lowers its head and charges. The impact is staggering. A tree thicker than 3 men groans, splinters, and crashes to the earth. They repeat the process again and again, the thunder of impact echoing across the plateau. The dinosaur battle is not against a foe, but against the wilderness itself, as logs are slowly pushed and dragged into place by the clan. A new scent drifts up from the plains below, the scent of blood and hunger. The Albertosaurus pack has returned. Starvation has made them bold, and they have followed the scent of the herd, their only reliable meal, to the base of the stone fist. The pack scrambles up the trail with terrifying speed, their lithe bodies built for such climbs. They arrive at the plateau just as the clan is heaving the last 2 logs into the great palisade. They jump, just wide enough for one of the predators to squeeze through. Remains chaos erupts. The clan scrambles for their spears while the Triceratops herd, sensing the familiar threat, forms a defensive circle, their horns facing outward. One of the sharp teeth lunges for the gap. But Kale is there, the old man. His body frail, but his will forged in a lifetime of surviving dinosaurs. Shoves a burning brand into the predator's face. The beast recoils with a scream of pain and fury. But the delay is all they need. The clan, a dozen hands working as one, shoves the final log into place. The one is sealed. The predator pack howls in frustration outside the barricade, trapped on the wrong side of the first wall ever built by man. The clan of the Red Canyon stands inside, exhausted, terrified, but alive. They have not conquered the world. They have merely carved out a single, defensible piece of it. A bastion built with courage, ingenuity, and the unwitting power of monsters. From the top of the stone fist, they watch the setting sun paint the sky in hues of blood and fire. Below, the relentless rhythm of the prehistoric life continues, the hunter and the hunted, the roar and the silence. But here, inside their bastion of wood and stone, a new rhythm begins. It is the sound of a child's laughter, unafraid. It is the murmur of a story told around a fire that will not be extinguished by fear. They have not defeated the titans that rule this ancient turf. They have simply refused to be their victims. This act of paleoengineering, this audacious manipulation of gargantuan forces, is more than a survival tactic. It is a declaration. It is the moment a species, armed with little more than fragile bodies and oversized brains, stops running and starts thinking. It is the first inkling of an idea that will one day raise cities that scrape the sky and build machines that carry them to the stars. How many such gambles were made in the deep chasms of prehistory? How many clans fell? Their brilliant, desperate plans ending in failure. We will never know. Their struggles are lost to the immense silence of geologic time. But in the defiant courage of the clan of the Red Canyon, we see the blueprint for humanity's ascent, the audacious belief that intelligence, community, and sheer, stubborn will can face down any monster. No matter how large, their wall of wooden horn is the ancestor of all our woes, all our castles, all our ambitions. It is the first great rebuttal to the tyranny of nature, an echo of the primal scream that declared, "We are here, and we will not be erased." This is the chronicle. The deep past is never truly past. The northern night whispers of a hunter that walks on 2 legs, but is not a man.